1845, and the dark romantics want to share their goals. We put our feelings into our writing. Don't make me grow up before my time. We have suffered loss and we wrote about it. Somehow it made money and became history. We dream in our waking moments and walk asleep. We are a paradox, we are a paradox. But like all good things, it did not last long. The horror welcomes her, the horror welcomes her. Dark romantics, this is who we are. The horror welcomes us, the horror welcomes us. Shouting, dreaming dreams no mortal ever dared to ever dream before. The lightning in the sky has me flying by. All I loved alone. I am tormented with an everlasting itch for all things remote, this sleepy little town. No matter what we write, we still all feel the same. We are a paradox, we are a paradox. But like all good things, it did not last long. The horror welcomes her, the horror welcomes her. Dark romantics, this is who we are. The horror welcomes us, the horror welcomes us. Study, love, and hate, for us we should make. And if I survived, I'd never be the same. Tales about the haunted woods, when it seems to call our names. I can't escape dark blues unless you show me how. There is no good on, but no sin in me. The horror welcomes her, the horror welcomes her. Dark romantics, this is who we are. The horror welcomes us, the horror welcomes us.
Hi, I'm the spokesperson for the 1845. Please, all band members, introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Edgar Allan Poe, and I have had a desperately dull and unsatisfactory life. My mother died when I was 3, and my father left me to pursue his acting career. I wrote not for the money, but to release the demons haunting my brain. Every day of my life, I felt like I was falling into this dark abyss. It wasn't until I joined the 1845 that I felt as though I was putting my deathly talent to use. Next question, please.
Hello, I'm Nathaniel Hawthorne. I'm an American novelist, dark romantic, and short story writer. I was born in Salem, Massachusetts on July 4th, 1804. I'm married to the lovely Sophia Peabody, who is a transcendentalist, and I don't favor transcendentalism and only settled on the transcendentalist Brook Farm commune to save money and to gain financial stability. But once Franklin Pierce was elected president, I was appointed the American consul to Britain.
Hi, I'm Herman Melville. I was born in New York in 1819. My family struggled a lot financially, and I joined many boating crews to find work. I eventually became a writer. I like to write about the human experience and the suffering that is associated with it. My writing can be convoluted, but the interrogation of human existence is very complicated. I wasn't very successful in my lifetime. My novel Moby Dick gained some critical acclaim, but I am told I became very well known after my death.
Hi, my name is Louisa May Alcott. I was born on November 29th in 1832 in Germantown, Pennsylvania. Growing up, my family was rather poor, so I worked as a teacher and a housekeeper to help earn money. I started writing later on in my life.
I'm Washington Irving. I was born in 1783 in New York City, but my family is from across the pond. The American culture just seems to invite me. I never went to school, but my creativity pulls out the knowledge.
I'm Emily Dickinson. I was born in Amherst, Massachusetts in 1830. I have an older brother, Austin, and a younger sister named Lavina. I attended Amherst Academy for most of my childhood in Mount Holyoke College for about a year, since it had little to offer me. I usually write poems in my free time and send letters to close friends about my life.
Next question. What inspired your work?
I've always been lonely. Not alone, but I felt as though the bodies sitting with me were just that, bodies. They could not comprehend the vastness of my thinking. So I wrote it down. And after one poem came another, and then another. And soon, I made history.
During my time on the Brook Farm commune, I was able to write my well-known book, The Scarlet Letter. This was the literature that brought my work to the public's eye, and my uncomfortable relationship with Salem influenced and inspired my writing on the Puritan lifestyle.
The many wild adventures I had during my whaling ship days inspired the seafaring themes in my work. I experienced many exotic things, but also experienced the horrors of the conditions on the ships. I was captured by cannibals on the island of Polynesia. After I was able to escape, I immediately began writing. The real-life disaster of the Essex whale ship and my own experience is on the Oshnet inspired my novel Moby Dick.
I would say my work is inspired by transcendentalist ideals because when I was growing up, my father was friends with Thoreau and Emerson, and they would come over to my house. And they were basically tutors to me and my sisters. So I grew up with those ideals. My writing stems from transcendentalism and childhood experiences.
When I was younger, I always loved the brevity of short stories. My visits to England have always helped me compose my greatest pieces. I would travel on the countryside and listen to the folk stories of the people. And I found my greatest inspiration through that, I think.
Well, I believe that the writer who is able to tell what they see opens the greatest meaning to their readers. I see things that I want to share with others, such as the inescapable limitations of society. I strive to bring abstract ideas into something that is understandable to my audience. Poetry really liberates these ideas for me since I'm able to create a piece that transcends the concepts I try to share while being a pathway for my readers to see the details they may not notice when going through their lives.
Last question. What inspired your writing?
It started when I joined the army, to surround myself with more death, I guess. But it really set the theme of my earlier writings. I took the loss and massacre associated with war and intertwined these thoughts with my poems and some of my short stories. It also helps that my earlier years were utterly tragic. Once I had the poems down, Irving and I just harmonized. I met this fellow when we started the band. Soon enough we had all 6 members, rocking out the gigs. But I'm truly the star of the show.
I started writing because very early in my life I had an admiration for reading and for writing, and I was finally granted the opportunity to write after the loss of my job once Zachary Taylor was elected as president.
After my escape from the cannibals, I found myself on the Lucy Ann whaling ship. I was involved in some violence aboard that ship and I was jailed. I ended up arriving home 3 years early. I began writing simply because I wanted to document and share my very wild experiences during my seafaring days. I thought that there was a unique exposure of the worst in humanity in conditions like on the whale ships, and I wanted to capture that, along with the unbelievable, sometimes fantastical journeys.
Writing for me was not just a hobby because my family was very poor, so I saw writing as an attempt to help earn money for my family, and it actually worked. My books were a great success and it helped get my family out of poverty. And I have a rather big imagination, so writing poetry and novels helped me escape and get that out there. So my writing is pretty much a hobby, but also a way of life.
Writing never quite appealed to me before. I didn't attend college, so I lost the inspiration many people hold for literature. I began to practice law and would occasionally visit the Hudson River Valley and try writing. Those few moments really turned my life around, I think.
Well, I love observing things around me, which I picked up at a young age at Amherst Academy, and I've had a fascination for science and the natural world. I began developing my poetry at the Academy with this emphasis on science, which then transformed into my present day writing.
Is that all? Okay.